Absolutely, and you're right, exactly. That is the crucial point, because everything can look great on the outside. And you've seen this over and over again, right? But there's a lot of pressure on leaders in the Christian world. And we need to be extra careful. Andy Stanley had a series about guarding your heart. And that's something that you don't necessarily see on the outside. It's hard to discern the heart from the outside. And so things can look like they're going great, but in the heart, things are eroding and getting ugly. And sometimes you don't see that stuff until it's too late. And so it's really important for us to be setting up an environment where we are guarding each other's hearts and holding each other accountable to that. One of the things I really appreciate at Hope International is the fact that we've set up accountability partners for each other. And we actually use some software that helps us, at least on the internet, keep ourselves accountable for that and what we're looking at and what we're filling our hearts with. I think just like I said, the mentors that I've had in my life also have been helpful for me in ensuring that I am guarding my heart and feeding my heart with God and with Christ and building my life more around that rather than the things of this world. I think partially this also gets to more of a root issue, though, of where do we build our identity and where do we put our identity. And so even in Christian ministry, we can root our identity in the things of this world, in power and wealth and fame and other kinds of things. And that ultimately is going to find itself out. It's that sin will become manifest in our lives one way or the other. Whereas if we can root ourselves, our very identity in Christ and literally die to self, as we read about in the New Testament, and instead our identity becomes rooted in Christ and what He has done for us, and our actions then become an outflow of who He is and what He has done through us, rather than look at me, look what I've done. That is a huge balm and a huge cure for this issue. You can put accountability, you can do other kinds of things, but if that issue isn't right, eventually that's going to work itself out. Whereas if you can get that issue right, that is going to solve a whole bunch of issues. Our ability to be humble leaders, to be servant leaders, is rooted in that issue. Our ability to not get caught up in the power and the fame, in money and other things of this world is rooted in that issue. Our ability to stay faithful to our families and our spouses is rooted in that issue. So I think that is something that we need to really focus on with our teams and spend a lot of time with our teams to make sure that we're cultivating that in the staff that work with us in ministry.